questions 11 through 20 on the 2007 Grade 8 Gauss Math Contest. Lily is 90 centimeters tall. If Anika is 4/3 of the height of Lily and Sadaf is 5/4 of the height of Anika, how tall is Sadaf? So Lily is 90 centimeters. Anika will be 4/3 times 90, and that is equal to 120 centimeters. And Sadaf would be 5/4 times the height of Anika, so just make sure you put the right height in, and 5/4 times 120 is equal to 150 centimeters in this case. So 11, the answer is E. In the diagram, AD, BD, and CD are equal. BCA is 40. The size of BAC is. So let's start filling in. Let's see here. We got 40 for BCA, right? So BCA, this is BCA, and they're telling me that's 40 degrees. Okay, well that is equal to that, so that's an isosceles triangle, so therefore this is the same as this. So that's 40 degrees. And therefore that will be 180 minus 40 minus 40, since the sum of the angles of a triangle are always 180. That makes this angle 100 degrees. This angle is 180 minus 100, which is 80 degrees. And finally, since that are the same, these two angles will be the same, and they total 100 because it's 100 minus 80, so each of these is 50. And they want you to figure out what is BAC. So they want you to figure out that whole angle. Well, that whole angle looks like it's 50 plus 40, which is 90 degrees. So it's a right angle. So number 12, the answer is D. Cayley must choose one activity from each of the following groups: art, sports, and music. If there are 2 art choices and 3 sports choices and 4 music choices, how many possible combinations of art, sports, and music choices can Cayley make? So we've got 3 different things to choose from. We've got to choose 1 art, 1 sport, and 1 music program. So for art, she's got 2 possibilities. For sports, 3, and for music, 4. And what you have to do is multiply them to get the total number of choices. So 2 times 3 times 4 is 24. And that's the different possible combinations of art, sports, and music. So number 13, the answer is B. At the 2007 Math Olympics, Team Canada won 17 out of a possible 100 medals. Which of the following is closest to the fraction of medals that they won? Where their exact fraction is 17 over 100. So we have to figure out which of these answer choices is closest to 17 over 100. If you multiply top and bottom by 6, you'll see this becomes 102 over 600. So it's almost exactly 1 over 6, right? I mean, not quite, but approximately. So number 14, the answer is C. Sally picks 4 consecutive positive integers. She divides each integer by 4 and then adds the remainders together. The sum of the remainders is. So we can choose any 4 positive integers as long as they're consecutive. So I'll just choose 5, 6, 7, and 8. This will work for any 4 as long as they're positive and consecutive. So let's take the remainder when each number is divided by 4. 5 divided by 4, the remainder will be 1. 6 divided by 4, the remainder will be 2. 7 divided by 4, remainder is 3. 8 divided by 4, remainder is 0. So now we have to add these remainders, and if we do, we get a value of 6. So number 15, the answer is A. When the radius of a circle is tripled, How are the area and circumference of the circle affected? Well, let's say initially we have a radius of r. Initially, the area is pi r squared, and the circumference is equal to pi times 2 radius. Or you can write this as 2 pi r. Then what they do is they triple the radius. So now it becomes 3r. Well, the area now is pi r squared, but r is 3r this time. So that looks like pi 9r squared. I can write this sort of as 9 pi r squared. Okay? Circumference this time is pi times 2r. My r is 3r, correct? So this becomes 6 pi r. So now we have to compare the areas and the circumference. Well, the area looks like it increased by a factor of 9, and the circumference increased by a factor of 3. So which of those answer choices represents that? It's A for number 16. In Math Idol, there was a total of 5,219 votes cast for 4 potential idols. The winner received 22,000 more votes than the second place contestant, 30,000 more votes than the third place contestant, and 73,000 more than the fourth place contestant. How many votes did the winner receive? So first place, second place, third place, fourth place. First place, I'll say the number of votes is equal to x, since that is what I want to figure out. Based on what they tell us in the question, the person who came second had x minus 22,000 votes. Based on what they tell us in the question, the person who came third had x minus 30,000 votes. And from the question, the person who came fourth had x minus 73,000 votes. Now the total number of votes they tell you is 5,219,000. So what we have to do is solve for x. So we have to add all these. So that's going to be 4x, and then these numbers, be careful when you add these numbers, minus 125,000. And that is equal to the total number, which is 5219000. Solving for x, we have to add 125,000 to 5,219,000. And if you do, you get 5344000. And then to get x, you divide that big number by 4. And if you do, you get 1336000. So number 17, the answer is D. The number n is doubled and then has y added to it. The result is then divided by 2 and has the original number n subtracted from it. The final result is, we have a number n, and originally that number is going to be doubled. And then y is added to that number. And then this result is divided by 2 and has the original number n subtracted from it. So now we have to subtract n. And this is what they want us to figure out, which one of those answer choices looks like that, or equals that, I should say. Well, the first thing is just to make this into a fraction. So multiply top and bottom by 2. And this becomes 2n plus y minus 2n all over 2. Well, the 2n's cancel, and all you're left with is just y over 2. So number 18, the answer is E. In the diagram, w, x, y, and z represent numbers and the intervals indicated. What fraction represents the largest value? Best thing to do, in my opinion, is just assign numbers to w, x, and y. W approximately 0.2, x approximately 0.8, y 1.1, and z probably around 1.7. So now let's look at the answer choices. X over w. X over w, using these numbers, is approximately 4. Next one, y over x, is going to be about 1.375. Choice C, y over w, and that's going to be about 5.5. Next one, z over x. That's going to be about 2.1 maybe. And then finally, z over w, that's going to be about 8.5. So the largest of these clearly is z over w. So that would mean that for number 19, the answer is E. Lori took a 240-kilometer trip to Waterloo. On her way there, her average speed was 120 kilometers per hour. She was stopped for speeding, so on her way home, her average speed was 80 kilometers per hour. What was her average speed in kilometers per hour for the entire round trip? So going to Waterloo, 240 kilometers at 120 kilometers per hour, and that looks like it would be a 2-hour trip. Correct? On the way back, same distance, but this time speed is 80 kilometers per hour, and that looks like a 3-hour trip. Correct? So the total speed equals distance over time. Total speed or average speed, distance is 240 times 2, because it's there and back, and the time is 2 hours plus 3 hours, so 5-hour total. So that looks like 480 over 5, and that is equal to 96. So number 20, the answer is B.